Hello and welcome to News Central TV. I'm Darshan Usman. The top stories this hour. Governor Soludo emerges as APGA flag bearer as George Moghalu clinches Labour Party ticket ahead of Anambra governorship election in November. Nupeng Pengasan warned against external recruitment of top cadre as new management takes over at NNPCL. Burundi shuts Rugombo Stadium transit site hosting over 45,000 refugees fleeing violence in DR Congo. Details of these stories and more coming up shortly. Let's begin in Anambra State, where the governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has been nominated as the flag bearer of his party, the All Progressives Grand Alliance, that's APGA, for the November 8, 2025 governorship election in the state. The incumbent, who was returned unopposed, polled over 300 votes during the primary, which held in Awka on Saturday. Voting was conducted for the delegates from all the 21 local government areas in the state to either tick yes or no on the ballot. After the voting exercise, votes were sorted and counted. Announcing the result of the exercise, the chairman of the electoral panel, Uche Nwegbo, said that the total number of delegates for the primary was 3,260. In the meantime, George Moghalu has emerged the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party in Anambra State. He polled a total of 575 votes to defeat John Nwosu, who scored 19 votes. A total of 601 delegates were accredited out of the 649 elected from the wards, with 597 votes cast and 5 declared invalid. Our chairman of the primary committee, Itana Bene, says that he has faith in the ability of the party to win the gubernatorial election. The winner of the primary, George Moghalu, also expressed joy at the way the exercise ended and urged the party to work together for their common success at the poll.
George Moghalu from Inewi North Local Government Area, having satisfied the requirements of the law, the Labour Party Constitution, and primary election guidelines, is hereby, I repeat, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected as the party's candidate, flag bearer for the November 8, 2025 governorship election.
We have said in and out of our rooms that we want to bring change. And that change starts from tomorrow morning. We must go to work. We must set our agenda. We must reach all the nooks and crannies of this state to let the people know why we decide to take this position. To sell the party to them so that they can join us in our desire to create a new narrative, in our desire to change the story of this state. Because Anambra is a blessed state. Anambra has all what it takes to be the #1 state in this country. We are not lacking in human and material capacity. What we need to do as a people, as a government, is to create a learning environment for our people to thrive.
A governorship aspirant of the All Progressives Congress in Anambra State, Valentine Ozigbo, has expressed concerns about the delay process in the ongoing APC primary governorship election in the state. In his exclusive interview with News Central correspondent Austin Azu, Ozigbo lamented the delay while expressing his optimism about securing victory in the poll. In the meantime, 1,630 delegates are expected to cast their ballots for the 3 aspirants contesting the APC governorship primary in the state prior to the November 8, 2025 governorship election.
Well, we're here for the primary of APC for the 2025 governorship election, and at the very major center for the accreditation, where 2 major zones, the Anambra Central and Anambra South, are doing the accreditation. This is where we are. And if you look at the time, it's about a few minutes to 6 p.m. This is a process that ought to have started before 10 a.m. and it's already 6 p.m. almost, and we are just starting. It's not a very impressive record. I wish we don't have to keep people like this, like refugees here. We're talking about over 1,630 people gathering, and much more than that, are roaming around. So, but however, it's better late than never. I'm happy that finally has started. I've heard reports about irregularity happening in Anambra, not where they did the accreditation. That's at Marble Arc Hotel. I'm going to drive there to see for myself how somebody came, addressed them, and no accreditation, not like what is happening now where people are coming one by one, ward by ward, local government by local government. That's not what happened. Within 5-10 minutes, they told everybody there, okay, can I head to the Women Development Center for the men voting. So if that be the case, then clearly they have to redo the entire accreditation. I'm going to insist on that. So I'm going to go there, find out for myself. But so far, I'm optimistic that as long as this process is going on, I will emerge the candidate of the party for APC.
Now, correspondent Austin Azu joins me to bring more updates. Austin, what more updates do you have on this? Hello, Austin. What more can you tell us about, the process so far? Away from the primaries, the Nigerian police force has officially invited the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, for questioning in relation to a clash that occurred during the recent Eid al-Fitr procession in Kano. Now, reports say that the invitation follows a deadly incident that occurred on Eid Day as the Emir's entourage moved from the Eid prayer ground to the palace in a traditional procession. The clash, which marred the otherwise peaceful celebration, led to the tragic loss of life of the vigilante member, Surajo Rabiu, and left one other injured. Security agencies had earlier placed a restriction on Durbar activities during the Salah period due to safety concerns. Now, despite the directive, Emir Sanusi reportedly led Durbar processions and paid a visit to the Kano government house, attracting large crowds. However, the entourage were in cars as against the traditional horse ride. Staying in Kano State, where residents of Ungwan Liman, Sarari, Bachi, Masallachi, and Durba, all in Kibia, Garko, and Reno local government areas, have called on Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, and other privileged citizens in the state to ensure that the bereaved families of the slain hunters in Uromi, Edo State, are adequately compensated. Now, some of them spoke to News Central television crew who had visited the communities, alleging that the hunters lost over 3 million naira to the incident, as many of them were robbed before they were killed by the angry mob. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
Uromi, Edo State, took us to Reno and Gerko to meet the families left behind. Many of them are still in pain and continue to bear the loss of their loved ones.
Yana da mata. Shi dai aikinsa neman kuɗin wannan farauta ita ce abincinsu. Wata uku kenan da yin wannan aure. Yaran nan ko me isa mu gidan nan shi zai kula da mu a cikin gidan nan. Ni kuma tsakanina da yaran nan bai taɓa safa mini ba.
Sun yi mana hidima fiye da inda baka tunani. Azumin da shi ya mana abin da muka yi saboda ni ban fita ba. Mun ji daɗi dai Allah ya saka mu da alheri. Allah ya biya shi a lahira. Abin da yi mun gode.
Mu ma aka yi musu haka a kashe su biya kuma abin da za su ciyar da waɗannan marayu su ma kuma san samu ne a watsa su. Na ta mun da hankali.
Isiaka Dutse and his wife lost their son in the ugly Uromi incident. He left behind 2 wives and 9 children, a situation that has put his parents in a state of confusion.
An kashe min su an kashe mini shi, mu shine gidanmu, shine zai ci da mu, shine zai sha da mu, shine suturan mu.
We also identified the family of Bala Haruna, who also died in the attack, leaving an uncompleted apartment being built for his wife, 4 children, and widowed mother.
Yana da hali mai kyau tun da shi ko irin hulɗar mata abokai bai ita kayanta ba. Idai zai fita, in ya fita kuma ba ruwansa da kowa, zai je kuma zai dawo duk lokacin da ya abin nan. Ba ruwansa da abokai haka waɗanda ba su dace ba yawo.
Some community members who spoke to us say that the extent of damage done to family members left behind have not been adequately expressed by the media. They called on the Emir of Kano to ensure justice for the deceased.
Ina ga muku, ina ƙara nanata muku cewa da kai faruwar wani abin kawo yanzu wallahi sun matala mun sami kiran waya fa 100. Shugabanninmu suna da sanin cewa babu ƙauye, babu lungu, babu sakon da aka shiga, babu mafarauci. Idan muka yi niyya mu raki ta ƙasar nan billahi da cikin daren nan an gama da ita. Amma muna biyayya gare su kada su yarda a kai matakin da za su ce mana mu ce ba za mu ba, su ce mu bari mu ce ba za mu bari ba. Saboda haka muna kira ga shugabanninmu dole ne su tashi tsaye su kwato mana haƙoƙinmu, haƙoƙin yan uwanmu. Ana ta magana har yanzu ba a gama magana akan irin girman zalunci da aka yi mana ba. Har yanzu ana magana ne kawai akan ran dan adam. Muna da rahoto da muka tattara yan uwanmu suna tafi da kuɗi akalla kimanin naira miliyan 30. Wannan a wurin mutum ɗaya ma an karɓi kuɗi sama da naira miliyan 3.
And those words from Haruna Ilyasu, those seems like a purgation of emotions, sums it all in the demands of those affected by the killings in those states. And the demands is very straightforward. They want government to marry what its actions, they want compensations being paid, they don't want to have any feeling of injustice or politics, to avoid any reprisal, to avoid any provocation. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
Well, we'll try to reconnect with Austin, who is in Anambra at the moment, joining me to bring an update on the happenings, during the process of choosing the governorship candidate for the Labour Party and the APC. Austin, over to you. What's the update?
Okay, of course, we have left the accreditation center earlier on. We reported. Currently, we are at the venue where the primary election is bid to commence. And of course, we have the 1,630 delegates coming into the venue at the moment. And of course, we have heavy presence of security personnel. Of course, we have other security agencies apart from the police to ensure that they have a very swift and seamless primary election ahead of the November 8th governorship election here in Anambra State. We have one of the aspirants for the poll. We have John Bosco. Please, John Bosco, please. Yeah. Okay. Please bring us to speed. Why the delay? The primary election ought to have started earlier before now. Of course, we are told that the accreditation starts 8 o'clock, and subsequently before they will come down here for the election. Why the delay?
One of the reasons is we want to make the whole process to be good. And normally there are contingencies. You don't expect something to... We program to start on time, and along the line there are some logistics issues. There are just contingencies along the line. But the most important thing is that we are here, and we're here to do free, fair, and credible election. And APC is here to take over Anambra. It goes without saying. So that's why you are seeing us making every arrangement to be hitch-free. So we have already apologized to everyone here, including the delegates, for them to understand that this is part of the penalties, just a little suffering that we have to do. We have to wash the hands so that when we are entering the government house, there won't be any conspiracy or any friction along the line. So
there are some unconfirmed reports we heard at the moment as some aspirants are stepping down for each other. We don't know if you have
Everyone is entitled to his opinion. People can step down for one reason or the other, but I am contesting. I am one of the oldest members of this party. I am almost the engine room of this party, a great financier of this party. I started from AD to AC to ACN to APC, one of the most supportive. And party is supreme. So I'm here to contest. I'm contesting the election. So whatever you're hearing could be at the pages of newspaper or at normal WhatsApp, which are not true.
Okay, another one again is that if since the candidate, the aspirant, sorry to say, it means that some of the delegates are quite tired, and some of them are actually sleeping, dozing off already, and it means that your party is not ready enough for them to go into the poll. How prepared is your party?
Because they are loyal party men. Just like I've told you, little delays. But I am assuring you, and you can see the chairman of the panel, the governor of Cross River State, has arrived, and he has assured that this process will be accelerated with a cataclysmic magnitude. So that once people are, accredited, they go into here, vote, and they go. Forget all the rancor and the acrimony. Forget all the subterranean subterfuges. Forget all the intrigues and the intricacies. Everyone is talking about APC. We are here, and you are seeing us, and we are ready to take over this.
Okay. Lastly, we saw a number of tear gas being shot outside by the police officers and security agencies who are there. And what does it imply for you?
What it implies is that when you want to talk, you have to test your microphone. They just tested the tear gas. They just tested it to be sure, because they have to be battle ready in case of anything. But we are sure nothing will happen. Although we know that this state has not been safe. The governor has not been doing well. We sleep with one eye closed and one eye open. So the non-kinetic and kinetic approach of security things has not been done. And that's what we're coming to do. So they're just testing the tear gas. Nothing is happening. Everywhere is calm. Area cool and calm. No complaints, sir.
Okay, before I let you go, of course, the safety of the delegates after the voting. Of course, you just said there are pockets of insecurity in the state. So what's the assurance of their safety leaving this place after the voting?
They are covered by comprehensive insurance, not even third party. Their security is guaranteed, and there are hitch-free process. And if any of them complain, we'll make sure that we'll take the person home. It's a one family, and it's a big family. So in big family, there could be some issues, but at the end of the day, it's resolved. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's one of the aspirants. And we hoped and believe that at the end of this exercise, a candidate will emerge, and of course, they will be ready to go into the poll. Back to you in the studio.
All right, well, thank you so much, Austin, for the update. Now we move on from that. President Bola Tinubu has vowed that those responsible for the deadly attacks in Plateau State will face severe punishment. He condemned the killings in Ruwi, Hurti, Tadei, Monguna, and Darfur communities, where gunmen launched brutal assaults, leaving many dead and homes destroyed. The president extended his condolences to the families of the victims and assured Governor Caleb Mutfwang of his full support in restoring peace. Tinubu urged affected communities to cooperate with security agencies and share information to help apprehend the attackers. In the same vein, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang has condemned the recent wave of violent attacks in Monguna, Josho, and Darfur communities of Boko's local government area of Plateau State, where many homes were razed to ashes and lives lost. In a press statement, Governor Mutfwang urged victims of the attacks to exercise restraint and avoid reprisals. News Central correspondent Chizoba Nyonwe gives an update from Jos Plateau State.
Yet to be confirmed by the state's authorities, many lives were reportedly lost in the recent attack in Boko's local government area of Plateau State. While condoling with families of the victims, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang called for restraint. In a statement by the Commissioner for Information, Joyce Ramnap, the governor assured citizens that his administration will get to the root of these calamities. Residents are, however, worried that if not checked, these renewed attacks may throw Plateau back into a state of insecurity.
To our minds, is an economic warfare. We're being denied our homes, we're being denied our lands, and we're not able, our people and loved ones are not able to cultivate their livelihoods. So it's an attack on our very existence.
It's sad that we've lost lives. It's sad that we've lost properties. And it is equally sad that we were almost celebrating stability on the plateau, because for over a reasonable number of months, there hasn't been any issue of this magnitude. And so for this to surface at this very particular point in time is quite sad for us.
I wish to condole with the government and people of Plateau State over this unfortunate security breach caused by insurgents and terrorists. And we want to also commend the security forces for ensuring that it did not expand beyond the level we're in.
Being aware of how bad things can get in terms of insecurity in the state, the way forward is a major concern for many citizens.
We have various success stories of our security agencies. We also want to use this opportunity to call on the communities to take advantage of community policing, to strengthen the vigilantes around, and also to ensure that the community police relationship is improved.
It shouldn't just be condemnation or promises about bringing lasting peace. Right? At this point, the people of Bokos deserve justice, they deserve closure, and they deserve an end to this senseless violence.
This is also a wake-up call to every community. People must be alert. People must sit up and take charge of securing their properties and take charge of securing their land in collaboration with security agencies.
In spite of the assurances from the state government that it will restore sanity and security of both lives and property in the state, the question on the lips of many is, how much longer will the people of Plateau State have to wait before the state reclaims its gold glory as the home of peace and tourism? In Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyui.
After the break, we'll tell you that Nupeng Pengason won against external recruitment as new management takes over at NNPCL. Details of this and more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASN, have asked the newly appointed Group Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Bayo Julari, to resist the temptation of filling top management positions with external recruitments. The two unions, while congratulating the new GCEO and the newly constituted board members, said staff members should be promoted from within. They noted that any plan to fill top management positions with external recruitment should be stopped immediately. President Bola Tinubu had on Wednesday appointed Ojulari to replace Mele Kyari as GCEO, while Amadu Musa Kida was named NNPC's non-executive chairman, replacing Pius Akinyelure. Now, to help make sense of this, we're joined by oil and gas analyst Bolan Olojede. Thank you so much for joining us on the news, Bolan.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How do you think that the new management at the NNPCL will impact the existing workforce, considering what we've what you just learned, and what Pengasan and Nupeng have actually said concerning external recruitment?
Well, we have yet another opportunity to see if we can transform that institution. The crop of people that were recently appointed and put on the board of NNPC are one of the best set of board that we've ever had. People with the right level of competence, experience, people who have been there, done that, and who have also done it from the private sector side of things. So it's yet another shot to make the best of that institution. However, this is not the first time we are having that institution being headed by a private sector person. So the new CEO has to be careful about all those things that consumed the former guy. The former guys also started well, but somehow that institution absorbed and consumed him. So the institution can do that. And that is why, for me, the new gentleman on the board should be careful about who they listen to. The Pengasan and the other association who are asking them not to bring people from outside, It is simply because there are people who are on the inside that they are already used to over the years. They have a relationship with them, they have engagement with them, and they don't want them to disappear. At the same time, it's a delicate rope to work. So you're going to need people who are inside to help you settle down properly to what you need to do. So it's a balancing act, but they must not allow external people, Pengasan or no Pengasan, to dictate to them how they will run the affairs of the NNPC, if indeed they are to make a transformational change in that behemoth of an institution.
All right, now, Balaon, are there any regulatory or policy concerns that, NNPCL needs to consider before pursuing external recruitment, particularly in light of what Nupeng and Pengasan has actually warned about?
Well, I'm aware that NNPC itself is set up by an act of parliament. Anything other than what is stated in the laws that set it up, the new board will have the liberty to recruit people if they need to recruit people from the outside. You cannot give a man a challenge and give him target of what he must achieve, and then you prevent him from being able to get whatever resources he believes are required to be able to get what he desires. If we want them to transform that place, then we must give them the free hand to do so in the best way that they know how to. And these are experienced persons. Mr. Ojulari was former managing director of Shell. So he's been there, he's done that. He knows about corporate governance, he knows about leading an institution, he understands the oil and gas space. So there is nothing really from the understanding of oil and gas space that you want to, that is very strange to him. So he should be allowed to do what he needs to do, provided it's not colliding with the law. And I don't think that recruitment will make him collide with the law.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for speaking to us, Balang.
Thanks for having me.
Now let's head to Lagos State, where the driver and conductor of a BRT bus have fled after the vehicle caught fire at Maryland, Lagos on Saturday morning, abandoning passengers who narrowly escaped injury. The bus, which had been en route from Ikorodu to CMS, went up in flames shortly after smoke was seen coming from the driver's side. Passengers initially believed the smoke was from nearby vehicles, but the situation escalated quickly, prompting them to evacuate. Emergency respondents, including the police, fire service, LASTMA and local security officials, arrived at the scene to contain the fire. Meanwhile, a passenger confirmed that no one sustained injuries, but alleged that the driver and conductor fled immediately, claiming they had prior knowledge of the bus' faulty condition. In a related development, a tragic accident involving a 40-foot containerized truck has claimed one life and injured 5 others along the Sele Expressway inward Oshodi in Lagos. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASTMA, confirmed that the truck, which suffered brake failure while speeding, lost control and dislodged its containers onto 5 commercial buses and 2 private vehicles, killing a pedestrian, while 1 bus driver sustained multiple fractures. Lasam Bus has evacuated the injured to Isolo General Hospital. LASTMA, alongside LASEMA, FRSC and the police, had led a swift rescue operation and restored traffic flow. LASTMA's General Manager, Olalekan Bakarioki, extended his condolences and urged truck operators to conduct regular brake checks. A full investigation has begun, with officials emphasizing strict adherence to traffic rules to prevent future tragedies. Now, still talking road disasters, no less than 6 people lost their lives while several others sustained severe injuries in another fatal accident involving an 18-seater commercial bus along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on Saturday. The crash caused a major gridlock, leaving commuters stranded for hours as emergency responders worked to clear the wreckage and rescue victims. Meanwhile, rescue operators or operations salvaged the situation while emergency teams struggled to save those trapped and managed to the aftermath of the tragic incident. The Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, has carried out an inspection tour of ongoing repair works on key bridges in Lagos. During his visit, the minister assessed rehabilitation efforts on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, Echo Bridge, and Carter Bridge, 3 of the city's most critical transportation links. The repair works, which are focused primarily on underwater components, include the piles, pile caps, and other parts of the substructure that are essential for the stability and safety of the bridges. Senator Umahi expressed satisfaction with the progress made so far. The minister expressed concerns on the state of the 3rd Mainland Bridge and the Carter Bridge.
We have inspected the 3rd Mainland Bridge, what is happening below the deck, awarded to Julius Berger, the Carter Bridge too, and we are satisfied with the work they're doing. I can say that the work on 3rd Mainland Bridge is about 50% completed, and that of Carter Bridge is about 70% completed. But something to worry about is a repair work like what is going on in the 3rd Mainland Bridge and Carter Bridge. They have to, repair the pile caps and the cover to pile caps that have deteriorated, they have rusted, the rusts are exposed, and some of the piers, what you call columns, the rusts are also exposed, and they are a very big problem, so we are going to arrest that very, very quickly. And part of the problems of 3rd Mainland Bridge and Carter Bridge on the pile caps, is that the salt water has found itself, about 10 cm into the pile cap concrete, which means that it is just a question of, time. It will start to attack the reinforcement.
Away from that, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has frowned at the size of land allocated to the University of Abuja by previous administrations. The minister, during the inspection of road construction and rehabilitation works within the Federal Capital Territory, says that the institution does not have the capacity to develop the entire land mass and thus has deprived private citizens and developers from maximizing the use of the lands. Our correspondent Joshua Marai reports.
It started as an inspection of key access roads at the Wasa area of the Federal Capital and then to the access road leading to the EFCC Academy.
We're going around to see those projects that contractors have assured us that will be completed and will be inaugurated during the President's 2nd year anniversary. We were in Ossex, 15 kilometers leading to Wasa, which is being done by CGC, and you can see for sure that they have still said that they are going to be ready. Here now we are to the road leading to the EFCC Academy, which is being carried by Levante, and you have seen the contractor said that it will also be ready by May ending. We're very happy with what we are seeing and the quality of jobs that have been carried out. We believe, to the glory of God, that Mr. President will also be happy when it comes to inaugurate these projects.
The minister frowned at the extent of land allocated to the University of Abuja, expressing concerns about its size and the university's inability to develop the land.
This will also open our eyes as to the kind of land that the university has acquired. I mean, it's not acceptable. You can't deny development. I don't know where the university will go and take over 1,000 hectares of land. For what purpose? We've been to universities, we have gone around to schools. You hardly can, I mean, just the grabbing of land is not the voting. It's just for development purpose. And we have been told that the police was also given here. and nobody's carrying out any development. Well, let's see. Because of this road now, what will happen? May that attract people to come and develop their properties.
It says that the roads inspected will be commissioned as part of President Bola Tinubu's second year anniversary. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
Coming up after the break, officials and witnesses have confirmed that Burundi has shut down the Rugombo Stadium transit site in Tunisia. We'll bring you more of this after the break. Stay with us. Officials and witnesses have confirmed that Burundi has shut down the Rugombo Stadium transit site, which has hosted over 45,000 refugees fleeing violence in eastern DR Congo. Now, the stadium near the DRC border has been overwhelmed by the influx caused by the Rwanda-backed M23 group's offensive. The UN estimated that about 70,000 Congolese refugees have entered Burundi since January, its largest refugee surge in decades. Meanwhile, authorities with support from UNHCR have relocated many refugees to the more distant Rutana camp. Some evacuees have resisted, citing fears of mistreatment, while others have opted to return to the DRC. In other news from around the world, protesters have rallied in Paris, Place de la République, mainly American nationals, to oppose U.S. President Donald Trump's policies. Now, this follows a wave of global protests, with thousands gathering in Washington, D.C. and other cities across the U.S., marking the largest demonstration since Trump returned to the White House. Rallies have also taken place in capitals like Rome and London. Organized by left-leaning groups such as Move On and Women's March, the protests express growing resentment over Trump's conservative policies, his government downsizing, and his economic moves. In Washington, a major protest near the White House has drawn Democratic figures like Representative Jamie Raskin. Despite global pushback, Trump dismissed the protests, stating that his policies will not change as his approval rating hits new lows. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria injected $197.71 million into the FX market on April 4th to boost liquidity and ensure market stability. Now, this move, announced by Financial Markets Director Omolara Duke, aligns with CBN's commitment to transparency and orderly market functioning. The intervention comes amid global economic shifts, including the new U.S. tariffs and a 12% drop in crude oil prices, now at $65.50 per barrel. With Nigeria's economy highly dependent on oil, the CBN aims to cushion the naira against volatility and maintain confidence in the FX market, especially among investors and importers. Nigeria's public debt surged to a record 144.6 trillion naira at the end of 2024, up from 97.3 trillion naira the previous year, the Debt Management Office reported on Friday. However, dollar-denominated debt fell to $94.2 billion from $108.2 billion, reflecting exchange rate effects and reduced FX exposure. Analysts at Renaissance Capital Africa note the rise reflects Nigeria's reliance on borrowings to fund growth amid revenue shortfalls. The data also showed a 1.65% increase quarter-on-quarter from 142.3 naira, that's trillion naira, underscoring sustained fiscal pressure. And And in the world of sports, Rivers Hoopers began their 2025 Basketball Africa League campaign with a dominant 81-60 win over Stade Malien, bouncing back from an early deficit to seal an emphatic victory. Join Favor Itwa for more updates.
And out to volleyball, Kenya Prisons cruised to a dominant straight-set victory over Botswana Spiking Stars on day 3 of the 2025 Women's African Volleyball Club Championship in Abuja. The Kenyan side controlled the game from start to finish, taking the first set 25-9, the second 25-15, and sealing the win with a 25-16 third set. With this victory, Kenya Prisons boosts its chances of advancing to the next round as the competition intensifies. They are set to face Nigeria's Chief of Naval Staff Spikers on Sunday, the April 6th.
Started well. First 2 sets we played very well, but along the line we had some lapses. But our reception, 2 to 3 points, but we rectified on that. And I'm hoping we'll be training in the evening, so I hope I rectified on the reception part of it. Then I reinforce my blocking, which is a good skill in my team. And I hope the next match I'll play well and win.
Tanzania's under-19 men's cricket team has made history, winning the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup Africa qualifier and securing the spot at the 2026 World Cup for the first time. The team sealed their ticket with a commanding 98-run win over Sierra Leone at the University of Lagos Cricket Oval, powered by standard performances from Hamza Onai and captain Lashk Baranian. Tanzania topped the Sandys with 10 points ahead of Namibia 8 and Kenya 6. Nigeria, Uganda and Sierra Leone finished at the bottom and were relegated to Division 2. Meanwhile, Nigeria Cricket Federation President Uyi Akpata praised Tanzania's feat, calling them worthy ambassadors. They will join South Africa and Zimbabwe in representing Africa at the Global Showpiece co-hosted by Zimbabwe and Namibia.
I really don't know what to say. It's the first time qualifying for the World Cup. I'm really speechless. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, yes, and I'm confident that this team will represent Africa at the World Cup really good.
And out of football, Atlant FC boosted their survival hopes with a crucial 2-0 victory over Kano Pillars on March day 32 of the Nigeria Premier Football League at the Danayam Stadium in Owerri. Samuel Ago was the hero of the day, opening the scoring in the 39th minute with a well-placed header. The winger doubled the lead in the 77th minute, unleashing a thunderous free kick that flew past goalkeeper Abuchi Destiny Okeke despite his desperate attempt to parry it away. The result lifts the Nazi Millionaires to 16th on the log with 38 points, temporarily moving them out of the relegation zone as the season approaches its 10th final stretch. And to wrap up sports updates, Rivers Hoopers kicked off their 2025 Basketball Africa League campaign in style with a commanding 81-60 win over Stade Malien. The Nigerian side, known as the Kingsmen, overcame a sluggish start, trailing 16-23 at the end of the first quarter. However, they rallied strongly in the second, taking a 41-35 lead into halftime. The momentum continued into the third quarter with the Hoopers extending the advantage to 62-47. Key performances from Kevin Amayo and Madut Akek, both delivering double-digit points, powered the team to victory. The win marks a positive start for the Hoopers, who now look ahead to a crucial clash against home team FUS Rabat on Sunday in Game 2. And that wraps it up on Sports Update. And Favor Itwa.
Well, and that's all on the news at this moment. Do not forget that we will remember you may send your eyewitness reports on the WhatsApp number showing on your screen. But before that, we'll give you the headlines now. Governor Soludo emerges as APGA flag bearer as George Mugalu clinches Labour Party ticket ahead of Anambra governorship election in November. We told you that Nupeng Pengasan warned against external recruitment of top cadre as new management takes over at NNPCL. We also told you that Burundi shuts Rugombo Stadium transit site, hosting over 45,000 refugees fleeing violence in DR Congo. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube.